Hello, in this video we will be looking at Bhagavad Gita Chapter 2 verse 14. As usual, I'll read it out first without the text up, then I'll put the text up. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapayino nityastastitiksha bharata. Now with the sorry, but there we are. Here we are. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapayino nityastastitiksha bharata. Here we've got two vocatives that are just inserted into the text. That's Kaunteya and Bharata. These are two of the numerous epithets of Arjuna. So some Kunti, so son of Kunti is Kaunteya, or of the family of Kunti, and Bharata is the same word as in the modern word for India is Bharat. So Bharata from the family of Bharat. So these are just two inserted vocatives, and they could be taken out without affecting the grammar syntax of the sentence. So the meaning of this is, oops, sorry, I've just lost my table boxes again. Let me bring them back. Oh, won't let me bring them back. Sorry about that. Bear with me. Borders. There we are. The subject of the sentence is the word sparshaha. Sparsha, meaning contact. It's the same word that we have in Pali as passa, so Sanskrit sparsha, Pali passa, and it's the word that's used in the as the sequence of how the mind gets sense impressions. We have the passa, Sanskrit sparsha, the external sense contact, from which we get the Vedana, which is the same in Sanskrit and Pali, which is the sensation, and from the sensation then we have the Sanya, Pali Sanya, Sanskrit Sanya, which is directly cognate with the word cognition, that's the knowing what it is, and that's how that's the beginning of the process of sensing. So it starts with sparsha, Pali passa. So these contacts, tu, meaning here the however or for, it's the conjunctive for the material contacts, this tu or he generally reflects back, this particle tu here generally reflects back to what was said previously, and this then is by explanation for the sense contacts. I'd say this because the sense contacts. Matra. It's actually originally the same word as material. Matra, material, matter. I've done a note on it. It's the material elements. It's originally from the Greek, from the Proto-Indo-European root ma, and it is root in Sanskrit ma, meaning to measure, and then to measure out. And it's the same root as we get in the Greek word metron, which we have in English as a meter, but the word metron originally just means a measure, just like in Sanskrit, the word matra with a short a means measure, same as the Pali matta. But you'd also have the word matra. It's essentially the same word in a feminine form, feminine noun. Normally, in this context, you would tend to see matra sparsha, material contact with material things. And here the poet has just chosen for metrical reasons to use the long R. Incidentally, metrical is from that same root. It's the metrical is the measure of the verse, the longs and the shorts, and the number of syllables. That's what we mean by meter in this context. So, having originally had this root of meaning measuring, it has this extended meaning of that which is measured out, or possibly that which is measurable, and therefore matter, as in material things. So here it's material elements, or just matter. So matra sparsha is matter contact. That's the contact between the material world outside the body, or even the material world that forms our body. And that contact then that produces the Vedana, that produces sensations that can be either painful or pleasant. So Matra sparshastu, the sparsha, of course, the visarga there becomes a s before the following t. So matra sparshastu kaunteya, for the material contact or contact between the body and material objects, o kaunteya, shitoshna dukkadaha, are heat, cold, sorry, shitoshna, I've missed out a word here, sukha, put it back in. Are cold, heat, pleasure, pain giving. In other words, the contacts with the material world give heat and cold, pleasure and pain. So Shita and Ushna, literally cold and hot, that has two meanings. One is the literal meaning, Shita, cold, Ushna, hot. Also, these two adjectives are used in conjunction to mean figuratively pleasure and pain. So you might say that Shitoshna and Sukha are just is like a poetic conjunction of two phrases that mean roughly the same kind of thing. Say that Shitoshna is a figurative, whereas Sukha is literal. Sukha pleasure and pain. This, oops, I'll just explain this Sukha da. I'm just going to call up the iPad for you. Oh, sorry, I lost my iPad again. Sorry. Just bear with me while I get it back for you. I'll just pause. I seem to be having a problem getting the iPad connected. Okay, we're back. So I'm just explaining the formation of this word, and particularly the function of da at the end, meaning given. So sitoshna sukha da. We have the root da, meaning to give, and from that we have the well-known verbal noun dana, giving. Where you have a root ending in a long a, which comes at the end of a compound, this is what happens. Say it's kind of pleasure-giving, something that provides pleasure. There's sukha plus, now we've got the root da, so pleasure-giving. What actually happens, if it's a long a, it becomes a short a at the end of a compound, so it's sukhada, pleasure-giving, and this da now, or I should say the final a, now, sorry, this whole thing, the sukhada, behaves like an adjective, any ordinary adjective ending in a short a. So it now declines like any other adjective ending in a short a. So we've got these sparshah. Remember, sparsha as a contact. Stem form, it's a masculine noun, so it's a sparshaha. And we get the nominative masculine plural then, well, the nominative plural is a masculine noun, sparshah, contacts, and then this adjective, now compound adjective, sukhada, is treated like any other adjective, so it now agrees with its noun, so sparshaha, sukhadaha. That explains the aha at the end of this word. So, matras pershastu kaunteya, the material contacts, the contacts with the material, o kaunteya, are cold, heat, pleasure, pain, giving. So this is now one compound adjective. Two further adjectives, agamapayano anityaha, also qualifying the noun sparsha. So these sparsha, these contacts, are cold, heat, pleasure, pain, giving. Agamapayano nityas, agamapayanaha anityaha. So the explanation I've done, I think I did do an explanation. Yes, I did. The agama, from the root agam, meaning to come, and apa, I, away, go, from the root I, we get this verbal noun aya. So apa, I, away, go, to go away. The verbal noun is apa, aya, which by Santi becomes apaya. So agama, coming, apaya, a going. These are both verbal nouns. So you can make a compound noun of them, agama, apaya, the coming and the going. Agamapaya is a verbal noun meaning coming and going. Make it into an adjective with the addition of the in, so the agamapayin, that which comes and goes. So these sparsha are agamapayanaha, which by sandhi becomes agamapayano before the next word, which begins with a short a, and as usual, what happens, the a followed by a becomes o, and with the dropping of the a. So agamapayanaha anityaha becomes agamapayano nityaha. This is the anitya. Incidentally, anitya is primarily an adjective, but then it extended to use as a noun. We're very well known in Buddhism. We've got anicca, which means both impermanent as an adjective and as a neuter noun, aniccam. In Sanskrit, anityam means impermanence. So these Matra sparshaha, these material contacts, are agamapayano nitya, are coming and go. They're things that just come and go. It means they arise and they cease. Anitya, they are impermanent. Tan titikshasva bharata. So here we see some sandhi at work. We've got on its own, this word would be anityaha with visarga, with the following gentle t, the visarga becomes a s. So anityastan. Here we have a word ending in a n, gentle n, and the next word begins in a t. So what happens is, whenever we see that happening, the n changes to anuswara followed by a s. Translate something like dance, dance. So dance titikshaswa. So agamapayino nityas dance titikshaswa bharata. Tan is just the nominative plural accusative of so or sa, meaning it or that, he, she, it. In the plural, nominative plural, it's the pronominal declension. So remember, the plural is not ta, it's te. And the accusative form is tan, meaning them. And that relates back to sparsha. So they come and go, they are impermanent. Titikshva means endure. I'll come to that word in a moment. So endure them, put up with them. So tan is the object now of the verb titikshasva, endure, imperative form. Them relating back to sparsha contacts. Titikshasva. It's the root Tij. It's a slightly odd construction. This, let me call up. I've done a note on it. Just bear with me while I call it up. Copy. Right. Explanatory glossary. Just calling up the explanatory glossary. What have I done? Oops. Control find. Here we are. It's from the root tij. In fact, we also have from that same, the root originally means sharp. It also, by extension of meaning, had the meaning of glory. So we get teja, tejas, meaning glory. In fact, it's used as a personal name in modern India. Tej. So the original meaning was to become sharp. If you go back to the Proto-Indo-European, it had an optional s in front of it. You often find that. Then s's come and go in the front of Proto-Indo-European roots. And it gives us the Greek word stigma, stigma pronounced in modern Greek, which is a mark, especially one left by scratching. And we get the modern word stigma, which is kind of a moral meaning. You're a bad mark on you morally. Your person is stigmatized, got a bad mark on him. But originally just meant scratching with a pointed object. We get the same stig, just to instigate, which means actually to prod with a sharp instrument. And through the Germanic root, it comes into English as a stick, which originally particularly meant a sharp pointed stick. Now it can be any kind of stick, but a sharp pointed stick. So it has this. The original meaning was to become sharp, and And by extension, you see that this is the desiderative form. So where you make a desiderative by doing a partial duplication of the root and adding sa at the end. So tij sate, the tij sate becomes tikshate by internal santi. So tikshate, desiderative form, means to desire or intend to make oneself sharp, and by extension, to make yourself firm. And that has come to mean to bear with firmness or to endure something with patience. This is an atmanepada verb, so not titikshati but titikshate. Just as in class 1, it's also tejate, not tejati. The imperative, as you know, for the regular class 1 parasmaipada verbs, the imperative just is a single a, bhavati, bhava, be. But if for the atmanepada, instead of a, it's aswa. So that's titikshaswa is just now the second singular imperative of the class 10, of the desiderative form of the first class 10. Desiderative is a class 1. So that's the desiderative, tij, desiderative form, second person singular imperative, titikshaswa, bear, endure. So what he's now saying is tan titikshaswa bharata. And now, so tan titikshaswa becomes by santi tas titikshaswa. So I'll read this out again. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukhadukkadaha agamapayino nityas tas titikshaswa bharata. And I'll read it once more. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukhadukkadaha agamapayino nityas tanstitikshasva bharata. And that's it on this video.